Good evening. This is Jolly the Jamil, and I'm gonna talk today about the generation gap. As we all know, the present generation and the older generation are at odds. It's a pointless thing, whatever, like that. The older people are blaming the younger folks for why things are so bad throughout the world, and in particular, my community, the black community. Okay, this is something that goes on in every community. It's not just a black thing and anything like that of any stretch of the mind. So before anybody gets out there and has this old idea, well, black people fussing and shit like that, no, it's nothing like that. It's an older generation fussing with the younger generation about why they can't do this, that, and the third. Okay, I got that point across. Made that, completely clear that this is not a black thing because there's other races or whatever, but we can go on to that another time. I'm going to break down why the older generation did not do its job, and the younger generation right now, with bad guidance, but also making bad decisions, is now a lost generation. It's not one group's fault. It's everybody's fault. The reason why things are the way they are right now. The older generation, my parents and many parents of people around my age group from 18 to 30, I'll just put it like that, grew up in a time period where so much was really happening during the early 50s, middle 50s, 60s, and 70s. When all this stuff was going on, you should have been picking up the information so when you had children, you pass it on to us of what we can do. A lot of the older generations probably got afraid when different individuals like Gandhi and Martin Luther King and Martin and Panthers and the Weatherman Underground, all these groups were shut down or individuals were killed when they were trying to make some things seriously happen. So a lot of people halted their movements, halted their stands, and just fell apart. Also, everybody knows when the 70s came around and disco became the hit. Just like now, instead of disco, we have sort of a form of disco. It's called pop music. Whatever's popular right now, everybody's following up with that idea, and everybody wants to be what they see in those music videos and hearing those song lyrics. So you have individuals who don't think about anything beyond themselves. During the 60s and early 70s, all the music was about moving forward. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it was about let's do something to change the world. Let's lift people up. Let's do something. And then when the 70s came around, cocaine became something flashy and so on and so forth. Everybody just went to this complacent idea that it was about me. It's about me. I can do this. I can do that. Let's all just have sex and just have fun. That is a big problem. When you start becoming selfish and overlook the situations of the masses because you want your own, yes, one person can't do it on their own, but if every person decides it's about me, things are going to fall apart. So, to the older generation that have grown up and seen all the great things that could be done with people coming together and uniting, stopping situations from happening, or mass protest and movements that really scared the hell out of the government and made them think twice about what they were doing. You should have taught the younger generation this instead of teaching us, okay, don't do that because we don't want you to get hurt. That is a big problem. When parents focus only on the child's safety and not in the child's enrichment, you're going to have a child that just knows how to take care of themselves, but not gonna understand how to interact with others. Not gonna know how to go through these things in life and how to deal with certain situations in a way that is very progressive and helpful on the grand scale. Everybody now is about spending money to do community work. Like everybody's ready to rush to the Gap and buy a red campaign T-shirt, but who is ready to go to Africa and actually do some work? Okay, you always want to have somebody talking about buy this and we'll send it to charity, and you take that as the easy route to do something. When in actuality, when you look at some of these campaigns, like the red campaign, 10% of all the proceeds go somewhere. So the other 90% is going right in their pocket. So you're running out there spending $30 on a T-shirt. You may send like $5 to a charity that probably separates that $5 into 10 different ways for different people's payment, and then in the end, what you have less than 10 cents going to actual aid. What needs to happen is what used to happen back in the day, when your parents probably were talking about, this is some of the more wealthy, affluent parents, today individuals today who can say that their parents went to Peace Corps and all these things like that. I wouldn't say that's the best option in the world, because you're still going through a government who's going to tell you what you can and can't do. And they're going to have little jobs for you, but the same principle applies. They actually went somewhere and actually did something. Now they're telling you, get your education and get a good job and get something out of your life. Okay? The point of life is not just being selfish and sitting around, in my opinion. If you just do that, you're going to miss out on every single aspect of the world. If I could afford it, hey, I'd be traveling right now doing so much. But since I can't, I don't have the money to do it, I'm going to do my own thing to try to get a message out there, or do my own type of work to get something going in the world. I'm at the present trying to start a little youth organization. I'm going to get to that in a minute as well. Now to the younger generation. Okay, we can blame the older folks for why we're in the state we are now, because they didn't hand down any useful information other than how to get a job and paid for our college tuition. And if you didn't pay for your college tuition, just told you not to go to the military or directed you toward the military. Now you out here in present day and time seeing what's going on, and then you have somebody who doesn't know a thing about what's happening trying to tell you now, don't do that, don't do this. You should have told it to the older generation, said everything to the younger generation when they had the chance. Now that you have a group of adults, the lost generation, who knows nothing about real change and real movements, you're going to have a group of individuals who know absolutely nothing on what to do about anything. Now they're rushing out to vote, but who's rushing out to write letters to the congressmen and make sure that certain situations and things happen for the people? Nobody's doing that, because all you know now is vote, 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 vote. But there's something that comes with democracy. True democracy, you may vote something in the place, but if the people on a grand scale don't get any benefit from it, it's to the right of the people to get up and do something about it. Older generation, you did not teach the younger generation that at all. I'm running out of time on the first one. This is going to be a multiple video thing. I'm going to try to bring up some more points and give a better understanding of what's going on. This is Jolly the Jamil. This is part one, looks like, of the generation gap. Be easy.